Whoa! Our goal was living a charmed life at the end of that match, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to Football Therapy with me, your host, Jan. I hope you're doing well, mate. I really do hope that. And welcome to your post-match presser of Chelsea 2, Leicester City 1. Chelsea robbing both Wesley Fofana and 3 points off the Foxes in the Premier League this Saturday. And oh my word, there's so much to get into, man. Like, 2 Raheem Sterling goals, a flawless man of the match performance from Thiago Silva for me, 2 early yellow cards for Conor Gallagher within half an hour. We'll talk about that. We'll talk about the formation change early doors, and then I'm speechless. Rarely speechless. I'm here in a press conference and I'm speechless. Get the microphones up for this one, though. If you're feeling good, please drop a like on the video. And I thank you all for subscribing to this channel. Should you subscribe, feel free to hit that sweet, sweet bell. All right, you can go now, microphones. Cool. Oh, right. Okay, let's get into it. Let me tell you how this went down. Chelsea started with a 4-4-2 formation at Stamford Bridge. Edouard Mendy in goal, who has obviously been making a lot of mistakes recently, and I do want to talk about player performances in just a little bit, but we'll reflect on that. We had a back four of Reece James at right back, who not only got an assist, he rifled the ball against the upright. It would have been an excellent world-class goal. Centre-back partnership of both Chalobah, Thiago Silva. We had Cucurella at left-back. And then a midfield bank of 4 with Jorginho and Gallagher in the engine room. Mason Mount left midfield. Loftus-Cheek right midfield. And a front 2 of Raheem Sterling and Kai Havertz. Raheem Sterling with 2 goals and also hit the woodwork himself. So he could have had a hat-trick. And there was it was also forced a really great save out of Ward as well. So they played a 4-1-4-1, Leicester. Yuri Tielemans was really good in the midfield. They did get a goal by Harvey Barnes, assisted by Vardy, which was actually a really good goal by Barnes. And that's, but let me... So, you know the lineup. We went 4-4-2, and then when we went down to 10 men, we sort of went 4-3-2 for a little while and just narrowed that second bank. But in the second half, we went for a 3-4-2 rather than a 3-4-3. So we just kept the 2 up top, brought Azpilicueta on for Mason Mount. He's sort of a victim of sort of circumstance there, I guess. And and then we looked more comfortable, resilient. And then because they were sort of taking more risks, I think perhaps we looked to, take advantage of that. So 22nd minute, let's talk about Conor Gallagher. He got a booking for a tactical foul. But 6 minutes later, he got a second yellow for a tactical foul on Drewsbury Hall, I think it was, who was on the break. Now, yes, I want to recognise he was sold a little bit short by Cucurella for that second yellow card. And who knows, had he not made that foul, maybe we go 1-0 down and we lose the game. I'm not trying to say well done Gallagher for getting sent off. The opposite. It's a shame because he had started poorly, Gallagher, and he had a bit of a baptism of fire against Leeds and wasn't very good. I actually thought he started a lot better here. He won the ball back a few times. He was very tenacious. Clearly, that's what Thomas Tuchel asked him to do, and he was doing it, but this is a lesson for him, man. I mean, fortunately, Kovacic, it looks like he should be back, hopefully for 90 in the next game. He obviously came on in this game, and so we survived with 3 points despite the kid's double yellow card. Tuchel does seemingly really like Gallagher. I imagine this won't be the end of his Chelsea career, but it's certainly not doing him any favours. A couple of yellow cards for Leicester follow, and then of course half-time comes 0-0. Chelsea up against it, but I tell you what, after the formation change at half-time, Mount off for Azpilicueta, so we go 3-4-2 like I said. Marc Cucurella, one of our new signings, combining with another one of our new signings, Raheem Sterling. It's a golazzo. Whether it hits Armati's foot or not, I don't know, but he cuts inside and sort of it looks like a really lovely finish. Comment down below whether or not you think it was a deflection. I'll be keen to hear what you guys have to say about that. But it's a lovely goal, and he's nearly scored a few of them already. Big up Raheem Sterling. Thank you so much, Manchester City. because despite him not scoring until this game, I still think he's looked good. Like, he's played well, and he has. And today, great performance. So we go 1-0 up. There's in the 50th, and that's in the 47th minute. So it's a great time to score. Set the precedent in the second half. Brendan Rodgers makes a couple of offensive transfers and saves. Jesus Christ, my brain. Substitutions in the 55th minute. But in the 63rd, the other fullback in Reece friggin' Flames assists Raheem Sterling for his second. Reece James gets to the byline, plays it across. What does he do? He taps it in, because that's what he's done for years and years at Manchester City. Raheem Sterling was the quintessential Raheem Sterling, ghosting in and finish. Reece James knows exactly how to feed him and what to do. And by the way, there are moments in this game where Reece James just ate people alive. He might have faded a little bit at the end of the game, but, perhaps he did a lot of running. Maybe he was required to just sit back a little bit because we had a lead and we had a man down. So it's not going to be like, off you run, Reece James, have a lovely time, mate. Do you know what I mean? You're not really going to do that. So we get that goal. We're looking good. Sterling's on a hat-trick. I think he could have scored a hat-trick at this point because he hit the woodwork, and I can't remember had he'd forced the save yet, but Raz was having a lot of shots on goal. But only 3 minutes later, Jamie Vardy assists that Harvey Barnes goal. Now, Mendy isn't great on this goal, by the way. I feel like it's near post. I don't think it's a goalkeeping error, but he's not particularly... He might look back at that and be disappointed. Again, let me know what you think. Comment down below. And then we make some more changes. We take off Sterling, maybe because he's run a lot, and Jorginho, who wasn't that great, Jorginho, in this game. Maybe because, man down, and you've got to do a lot of running, and he's more of a dictator rather than like a runner. But we bring on Pulisic for Sterling, Kovacic for Jorginho. Sight for sore eyes, ladies and gentlemen. Mateo Kovacic returning to the field. That's what we all want. And to be honest, man, from that sort of 75th minute... maybe onwards, the final 15 minutes and the 4 minutes in stoppage time, we were living a charmed life. The goal, like I said at the top of the video, that we were being the goal was being peppered by Leicester, and credit to Leicester, they started playing well. Yuri Tielemans was suddenly just dictating everything. Harvey Barnes was good. There was obviously a great battle down Reece James's flank with him and James Justin. Both good players. Of course, James Justin is the replacement for Ben Chilwell, who also joins the fray in stoppage time. Largely, I think, to waste time, but it does seem like he's just straight up lost his place to Marc Cucurella. Although, I believe in certain instances when we play a back three, we'll see Cucurella play left centre-back, and we will see Ben Chilwell play left wing-back. I reckon there'll be instances where we saw that. I thought we might see it today, but we actually started, of course, with the back four. So we ended the game with 45.6% possession, which is pretty good considering we only had 10 men. We had 7 shots to their 17 shots. 7 shots to their 17 shots. But then again, we had 3 on target. They had 5 on target. So our sort of accuracy rate was a lot better. They had 7 shots off target to our 2. And we hit the woodwork twice. So Reece James and Raheem Sterling. So, we even though we didn't take loads of shots, you can understand because we had 10 men. And when we did, we looked dangerous. So that's really and possession, we had nearly half of the ball considering. So that's pretty darn good. We had a good pass success rate, nearly, we had 84 to that 87%. Again, 10 men, you got to understand. We won a lot more aerials than them, which is really important. 18 aerials to their 15. Naturally, we had more tackles, 1 more tackle. And that brings me on to player performances. I want to talk about Trevor Chalobah to start off with. But let's talk about Mendy. Edouard Mendy, he made a couple of good saves. He shows he really knows exactly where his post is. And he's really impressive when he let that ball... That shot, was it Vardy? I can't remember who it was. He took a shot and he literally just went, yeah, that's not going in. Even though it was that far out the post. So he looks pretty cool. But as long as you know where your posts are, mate... Not great on the goal. Again, I'll be looking in the comment section to hear what you guys have to say. Now, Chalobah was really good. And these aerial duels that we've just spoken about, how we dominated in the air, I think Chalobah's got a lot to do with that. He's come in, there's people talking about him going out on loan, and this game did him a lot of favours. If we are to continue playing a back three, And then if the back three will need backups. And I think Trev Chalobah, I mean, there's still a chance he might go on loan. Certain clubs that maybe have been arming and ahhing about taking him might have watched this performance from Trev Chalobah and been like, actually, yes. You know what I mean? Like, yes, please. I'm very pleased with him. He deserves a shout out. But bring the mics up for the man of the match, my man of the match announcement. Thank you, thank you, thank you. The football therapy man of the match is Thiago Silva. I need to get a little applause thing. That's right. Okay, cool. Put the microphones down. Thiago Silva is man of the match for me. He was absolutely imperious. I did feel bad for him. He was like an old man that was just so pissed off, like, I'm too old for this shit, man. You know what I mean? Like, having to constantly make these last-ditch tackles. Like, this is not the game I'm here for. I want to be pinging them around in a possession side, sitting in the middle of a back three. Not like, you know, in this, like, back two scenario for a lot of the game. And he was majestic, man. Like, for me, he's my man of the match. I think both the centre-back, I think that all the defenders were good. Cucurella, I mean, he sold Gallagher short, but generally he's really intelligent down that left-hand side, combining really well. You can tell he's like a Barcelona, academy player. Very intelligent with the triangles and the tiki-taka. Reece James, obviously, absolutely flames, as we would expect. An assist, hit the crossbar, and probably, it's a strong performance. I don't think Jorginho was that great. I'm loathed to criticise him, because it's the kind of game, he is what he is. Do you know what I mean? It's not that he was doing stuff badly. He's not going to be really good at pressing and all this kind of stuff. He needs to put his foot on the ball. And again, like Leeds, because of going a man down, I don't necessarily think it was, the best game for him. Loftus-Cheek was pretty good at that right mid. I think that really does suit him in a 4-4-2. Of course, he played wide mid for Crystal Palace on loan there. He's played in like as a midfield 8 on that side, and he's also played as a wing back, and this is obviously probably a little bit more suited for him than a wing back, because he's got a straight up fullback behind him. He does combine well with his mate Reece James down that right hand side. Conor Gallagher, again, man, like, disappointing that he's a hothead. And Tuchel obviously wants him to be tenacious and snappy, and he started like that, and it looked like it could work. But yeah, like, he's a kid, and he'll have to learn from that. But it's poor on the day. Mason Mount was pretty poor, I think. I think obviously he got hooked at half-time for the formation change. He was the one to go. But left midfield, I don't think it really suits him, to be honest. I feel like it kind of, like, gets him out of the game a little bit. I want to see more of him there before I put a proper opinion in. What can you say about Raheem Sterling? He would have been maybe the man of the match had... I didn't think Silva was just so incredible. Raheem Sterling with 2 goals, hit the woodwork, forced a great save, worked hard to the end, knows exactly how to attack. He's been trained by Pep Guardiola for the last 7 years, man. He knows how to attack. He knows how to press. He knows how to work hard for his team. He loves it. You can tell, like, he wants to be the man here. He wants it to work. He was his face, his celebration when he scored, it just felt so good. Like, he feels right. I know he's like, people see him as like this mercenary, and because he's gone to Liverpool, City, and now Chelsea. But he's a London boy. He's a West London boy, and now he's not like a system player. He can be the man. I think it's going to be a lovely blue story, Raheem Sterling at Chelsea. 2 goals off the mark, mate. Already our top scorer. Now, Kai Havertz, I was actually quite annoyed with him in this game until the very end, and then I reflected on his performance, and I was like, you know what? I'm happy with you, because he was a shithouse, and we needed that. I believe he's this like graceful, floaty player, and I do genuinely believe that. But he's like, right, at the moment, I'm not scoring goals, so I'm gonna make myself friggin' useful one way or another. I'm gonna shithouse, I'm gonna time waste, I'm gonna get a yellow late, I'm gonna get to win some soft free kicks, I'm gonna work really hard, and he did all of that. So big shout out to Kai Havertz, and despite him not scoring, I think he was an important factor today. Boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, let me know what you think. Comment down below. How do you feel about this game? Drop a like if you're feeling good. Subscribe if you're new. See you soon, friends.